Hello, sir. Am I audible, sir? Yes, sir. Am I audible, sir? You're mute, sir.
You're audible, but I don't see anyone joining.
Sir, we are live on YouTube, so I've just spread the link outside on Noodle Centers and Evaluators, sir. Am I audible, sir?
Why we could have asked them to join on WebEx, no?
Sir, like we are having 600 plus, so I decided to go with that.
Okay.
So we're going live, sir. 3, 2, 1. So welcome everyone. Thanks for being a part of Toycathon as an evaluator. We have received your entries from Noodle Centers and from respective industries as well. Today, our Chief Innovation Officer is joining us to give some glimpse about like how evaluation needs to be done and how we are going to proceed with the evaluation process. So we will start with a small teaser of the Toycathon, and later on, I'd like to over the session to our chief sir, so that they can guide you like how evaluation process will work. So after this short video, we'll be moving ahead. Over to you, sir.
Hey, thank you, Ajay. So I would like to first thank all the evaluators who have joined on this Sunday evening or afternoon. Yeah, I know it's your time where you would like to spend it with your family and get into more relaxed mode because you have worked hard for the entire week. And again, tomorrow you really need to get into that rigmarole again. So first, I really would like to thank you from bottom of my heart for joining this session. And more importantly, for accepting our invitation to be evaluators for this Toycathon 2021 grand finale. Dear friends, as you are aware that last year, Prime Minister announced this mission of Atmanirbhar Bharat. And under this mission, we were given or we were asked to identify sectors, to identify areas where we can reduce our dependencies on imports. And undoubtedly, toy is one of the important sector in this regard. If you really look at India's current toy market, it is about $1.5 billion. And we can safely say that about 80 to 85% of the toys in this country are imported. They are not indigenous. And as a result, we are losing a lot of foreign exchange. But more importantly, these toys are influencing our young, impressionable minds of our kids and our children. And they are getting carried away with different value systems. If you really look at our ancient culture, our ancient civilization, we have great value system. Our history is rich, more than 5,000 years old. And if we want to reconnect our children with our ethos, with our culture, then we need to introduce toys which are based on our culture, on our tradition. But in this world where digitization is heavy and our all new millennials are digitally native, we need to have our toys redesigned. We need to have our games redesigned in such a way that they will appeal to this young generation. When we were old, or when we were young, our requirements or our expectations from life were not so great. We used to play with what we used to get at that time. But now, the aspirations within these youngsters, within these kids, is very high. And they know what they want. They are very, very clear about their likes and dislikes. So if we want to really enthuse them, we have to present them with a quality product. We have to present them with right ideas, new ideas, which will excite them and which will engage them. So it's not an easy task. And hence it was felt that if we have to actually recapture this market, this toy market, then we have to reach out to our youngsters. We have to reach out to our school students, our college students, our professionals, our experts, and ask them to design innovative toys, or ask them to redefine our older toys and make them exciting. With this approach, this Toycathon 2021 was launched on 5th of January. And I'm very happy to share with you that we received more than 17,000 entries from about 14,000 teams. Our track 1 is for school students. Track 2 is for college students. And track 3 is for startups and professionals. Because we want to ensure that young students, irrespective of their age, should get opportunity to share their idea and be creative. So if you see, even for this grand finale, we have teams in track 1, we have teams in track 2, and we have teams in track 3. As I said earlier, we received more than 17,000 ideas. Each idea was evaluated independently by 4 different evaluators. And only the accepted ideas by 4 different evaluators were carried forward, were taken forward. And those teams will now compete in this grand finale, which is scheduled on 22nd. We also hope, it's not still fixed, finalized, but that's the reason I'm using word hope, that our Prime Minister will also join and talk to the youngsters, encourage them. We are engaging with PMO's office. And that's the reason, again, I say there's no yet confirmation. It's a hope, which we are talking about. So as evaluators, during this Toycathon grand finale, which is scheduled from 22nd to 24, your job is going to be extremely critical. You will help us shortlist good ideas which have commercial potential, which can be taken forward beyond this Toycathon and may actually result in manufacturing, or at least that idea could be further developed so that we can take it more closer towards manufacturing. We also need to ensure when we are evaluating the toys which are suggested, the toys which are conceptualized are eco-friendly. No? Zero, what we say, the Prime Minister's office or Honorable Prime Minister says, zero effect, zero defect. Zero effect means no effect on environment, carbon neutral. So this is going to be one of the important criteria for you while you're evaluating. Also, you need to ensure that these toys are pocket friendly. So they have to be environmental friendly, and on top of it, they have to be pocket friendly also. But when you are looking at all these parameters, the innovation quotient gets primary consideration. So when you are evaluating all the products, all the technologies which will be showcased to you, you have to look at the novelty of the product. You have to look at the scalability of the product. Means how scalable it is, how easy they are for manufacturing. Then you have to look at eco-friendliness of the product. And you have to also look into whether the product will be pocket friendly. These are important criteria. Apart from that, you also need to look into what kind of technology they are using and whether they can do better, whether they could improvise the design part of it also. Because when we are looking at toys, when we are looking at these products, they need to be cute. They need to be sexy. You know, you see the toys which are coming up from other countries. Whether they will work or they don't work, we don't know, but they look very cute. And if possible, we also need to ensure that the toys which we check or which we evaluate has that cuteness quotient in them. So these are going to be 5-6 parameters. My team tomorrow will explain you in detail about how to actually measure or how to give marks in each of these parameters, so that all the evaluators in Toycathon will perform uniformly, and it will be easy for us eventually to harmonize the results. Another consideration which you all really need to give is to ensure that track one toys, which are suggested by school students, need to be looked at from that angle. You may not able to get great proficiency in them. But if the idea is good, if idea is innovative, then yes, you should recommend them so that they can be taken logically forward. So you need to be a bit liberal when you are looking at track one. Because at the end of the day, these are school kids. And because of this COVID crisis, they were not able to go out, go to their school and work as group on some of these projects. As kids, they had a lot of restrictions as compared to others. The parents were not allowing, the teachers were not entertaining, so they couldn't work to make their toy better. So be sympathetic to us, but be uniform when it comes to startups. You really need to be very strict. You have to ensure that there is a very good quality product which is developed by them, because they are startups, they are professionals. So you cannot be liberal with them. And when it comes to track two, which is college kids, I think you can be equally good and professional with them. They're not young. We have to push them to really think good, really think out of box. We really want great ideas coming from our kids. So again, there is no reason to be liberal in track two. So track one, you could be liberal. But when it comes to track two, you need not be liberal. And when it comes to track three, you have to be extremely professional. Because this is what we expect. Tomorrow, when my team will onboard you on the platform, they will train you on the platform. They will show how to enter the marks, how to score on each of the parameters, how to normalize it, so that when we will have results on 24th evening, there will be no controversy. Please understand, my dear friends, this is a national initiative organized by 5 different ministries: Ministry of Education, Ministry of Women and Child Welfare, Ministry of MSME, Ministry of Commerce, Ministry of Textile, and Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, along with All India Council for Technical Education and Innovation Cell of Ministry of Education. All these 6, 7 people or units have come together for this initiative. Initially, we were planning to have a physical initiative. We will have a physical Toycathon or a hackathon for toys. But again, due to this second wave, we have to go digital. So only for this grand finale, we have selected ideas which could be done digitally. So like apps or video games, online games, those kind of teams have been selected. Apart from that, the teams which design toys or propose toys based on paper and cardboard, which really didn't require good mechatronics or high-end tools. We selected them for this digital round. And we have parked the teams which required a physical infrastructure or physical, or they were proposing physical toys, which had mechatronics in it, which required other heavy instruments or machinery for it. We have parked those teams right now. And once these COVID restrictions are done, once these COVID restrictions get relaxed, we will organize a physical hackathon for these teams. So during this digital hackathon or digital edition, we will have about 1,500 teams participating. These 1,500 teams, as I said, have proposed digital toys along with paper-based and cardboard-based toys. And we have parked around 900 teams which have proposed physical toys, high-end toys. And that hackathon will happen separately. We will be using the same parameters, what we are using here, to also evaluate them. There will be no change in parameters, but that will be round 2 for this grand finale. And we will do it maybe in October or November, when these COVID restrictions are relaxed and student can travel, student can go to workshops, stay in workshops, and actually demonstrate their products, actually work on their products, build their products for evaluators and for so that they can showcase them. So I hope I have set the ground for tomorrow's interaction with my team, where they will do a formal onboarding and training. And still, if you have any doubts on concepts or the principle of how we are, then I will be more than happy to answer them. So Ajay, you can take comments or doubts or questions from YouTube if people have any. And I will be more than, as I said, I will be more than happy to answer them.
So majority of the questions.
So once again, thanks for joining. Really appreciate.
Yeah. Thank you, Abhay sir, for the wonderful insights. We are having some common queries from the previous evaluators that they have not received the certificates yet. So I have told them that post hackathon, we are going to provide the certificates, but they need clarification on that.
Yes. So, dear friends, we are getting this query a lot. After grand finale, we are going to give certificates to all students, evaluators, participants, organizers. We are going to work on in batch for all of them.
Yeah.
I hope you will get it. We have promised you will get it. You will get it. Don't worry.
Yeah. And another question, it's a common question coming in, that do evaluators have to do the mentoring session as well, or the mentors will be different?
So we expect evaluators to do mentoring session as well. But if you don't have time, let us know, and we will actually think about it. Yeah. But ideally, so what we do is here something very simple, and why we expect our mentors, evaluators to do mentoring session. Because during mentoring session, you give directions to students that please do this, please do that, change this, change that. And then after 8 hours or 10 hours, you actually go ahead and evaluate whether the changes which you have suggested to them, whether they have made those changes or not. If they have made those changes, it means that they are technically very sound. It means that ready to improvise. Otherwise, many times what happens, somebody else has developed the product and then they could just come and showcase it. But if you tell them to make the changes, and if they do those changes in real time, in that small time frame, then you know that those kids are technically competent, they're analytically strong, they're understanding what you are saying, and they're ready to improvise. That is what an innovator is, right? He's continuously evolving, continuously modifying, continuously making his product better. And that's the reason we expect evaluators to also be part of mentoring session. Right, Ajay?
Yes, sir. Absolutely right, sir. And one more question, and I think this is going to be a last question because most of the people are just asking for like which platform we are using. Like we are using the Microsoft Teams for the communication evaluators. So, sir, one last question is, what are the parameters that needs to be checked in Finale, specifically in Track 1 toys?
So as I said, that the parameters are going to be same for all the tracks because we are going to onboard you on a common platform. Okay. So track 1 or track 2 or track 3, the parameters are going to be more or less the same. As I said, you have to check for novelty. You have to check for scalability, eco-friendliness, technology, and even to some extent pricing aspect, whether it is pocket friendly. Okay.
Yeah. Great,
So
sir.
these are going to be the parameters which you have to check. The only thing which you can do for track 1 is to be a bit liberal, bit accommodative towards kids.
Okay. Thank you, sir. That was the last question. Rest all the queries coming for the platform will be going to be addressed by tomorrow with from Mohit, sir. I've already intimated all the evaluators that tomorrow we'll be having a session, and they will receive an official email from MIC email ID and all the evaluators who are participating in the grand finale. And portal onboarding will be done tomorrow at the same time when innovation directors will be taking that particular
So
session.
you will be starting tomorrow at 4 o'clock or 4:30?
By 4 o'clock, sir. We will be sending official mail to all the evaluators.
So tomorrow I will request everyone to join at 4 o'clock. Okay. For platform related training. Also, as Chief Innovation Officer for Ministry of Education, I would like to take this opportunity to invite you all for the launch of Grand Finale event at 9 o'clock on 22nd June. We will be having our Honorable Shiksha Mantri, Shri Ramesh Pokhriyalji Nishank joining, along with Honorable Minister for Textiles and Honorable Minister for Women and Child Development, Srimati Smriti Irani ji joining us. So both of them will be there for the inaugural function, and they will be really very happy to have you. So please join at 9 p.m. So join up 8:45, about 8:45, so that you are all there and we can start the program sharply at 9 p.m. 9 a.m. So hope to see you on Tuesday at 9 a.m. Thank you. Thank you very much. Ajay, I would like to once again thank you for arranging this session.
Thank you,
Namaskar.
sir.
Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for all your volunteers for joining in. I'm ending the session, and we will be taking forward things by 4 o'clock tomorrow with the portal onboarding training and some insights by Innovation Director Dr. Mohit Gambhir. Thank you.